Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hold on.
We ready?
Hold on.
All right.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Ohio Cannabis Show here on the Voice of Radio. You see, I got that one that time, EP, man. Shout out to my man and the one and only Voice of Radio president and founder of this joint EP on the boards with me as usual on this beautiful Tuesday. We not doing too bad. I'm gonna say consistency for the last 4 weeks. We within that, but you know how we do, man. We like to get a little bit you know, we be doing it though. But we here as usual to the best thing cannabis show around. Like to thank our guests for the last few weeks. We done had on Honey DeVoe, Gus. Last week we had the Mystery Man, and we had Greg Champs on. Man, thanks out, man. Shout out for all the feedback that we got from all of those guys. It was a great, great show. I do like interviewing people, and we got some more. We had the Blind Bud guy coming on today, so we could talk a little bit about the cultivation of cannabis. But we're gonna get him on like next week. He has some little issues too that's going on. But here on this Ohio Gas Company show, we like to talk about cultivation, information, and legalization of weed here in the great state of Ohio. Today's show, last week we had a little bit of abbreviation, and we really didn't get into getting these plants outdoors on the cultivation side. Like right now, where we are at right now, you should have your plants already out of seedlings and transfer them into their final pots right now to go outdoors. If you are going straight into the ground and you are not using soil and you're going to use what's in your yard, remember you need to clear off about a 3 foot circle. You need about you gotta like clear it out like you was planting a tree. You want all the grass gone from over there, and I don't know how heavy you really want to till the soil around that. Besides, put something so the grass won't come back, so you could give your roots some oxygen. So the whole goal with that is to let the roots get oxygen. Really advanced right now, if this your first or second time, or maybe a second or third time growing, think about growing a cover plant in that area. So when you scrape the ground off, if you outdoors and you digging, where you gonna like scrape that ground out, make that circle. If you want a big plant, the theory used to be like dig it deep as a 5 gallon bucket and fill it back up with dirt. We like to think different now. A bigger, wider area and shallower will produce longer roots than going deep. It seems like when we go deep and the roots are, you don't mind the roots going that deep, but when we put it in that bucket in that deep thing, I saw a lot of root bound last year, and it can be specific to the soil. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the soils and what some of the good characteristics of cannabis soil. Number one is you probably need some loose texture, high drainage is very good. That's what the loose texture of the soil is. That's a light, airy temperature, light, airy texture, and what we're looking for is root growth. When we're thinking about below the plant, you don't want like tight, thick clay because the roots won't like spread out. You want it to be able to spread. That's why we use. I'll tell you to use rice hulls right now, and that's when you use perlite. Cocoa chips is being not really cocoa. Yeah, cocoa chips, not cocoa core. Cocoa core is something different. Cocoa chips is close to it, and it's more of a natural, like a. I won't call it an aggregate. It's like you add that in so you can keep your it do the same thing as perlite. It's making pockets of air to make that soil in a loose texture so the weed so your cannabis can have cannabis roots will have a place to grow out. So that's what you want to look at for that. Also, you want like good drainage. Drainage is very important in root growth because you don't want to keep your plants all the way wet when you're growing in dirt. You want a dry back, and what that is you want that thing to dry out pretty dry. And the next time you water it, you want the roots to start stretching out further to look for water. So that is the theory. So that's how you get the stretch on your roots, which is going to get you a stretch in the top. So just remember that. Good water retention, while it's important that drainage is important, the soil should also hold water. That's when you get into your mixes, uh, more like with what, how much worm castings versus compost compared to maybe me. I would add cocoa core to that mix, and so I could get it along with rice hulls. So it's a lot of dirt recipes out there, or you could just go normal like everybody. I ain't gonna say normal. Very popular. It would be. I can't recall the name of them right now, but the popular dirt. I just drew a brain dead, dead. But you definitely have to get the soil loosened up and have it separated out, not so clay, and that depends on your mix. So your mix could be a lot of different ways. If you wanted to feed it with nutrients all day, you could go heavier with a little bit of cocoa core, less worm castings. If you're trying to develop a ecology down there where you just kind of feeding your dirt, so your dirt is raising your plants, that's definitely a great way to go also. So also you want to check your pH level if you can. If you don't have a little pH meter, you still could go to the store and buy the little shake up thing. You put 2 drops in there with the water, and you just put a couple drops on there, and then you hold it up against a color wheel, and it could tell you a good approximation of the pH balance of your dirt also. So you cannabis prefers a slightly acidic soil, ideally between the pH range of 6 or 7. Funny about that, that's the same thing we want our water at. Rich nutrients, and what that means is macro and micronutrients, and you can buy all of these off the shelf. But the first thing you need to know is to identify your soil, and that's the pH test. Some people that's very serious about growing send their dirt off to check the pH balance and get it tested. It really don't cost a lot of money. You send a little sample off in a little tube. They'll send you a readout back, and now with digital, you'll have that back. Back in the day, you used to have to wait on somebody to mail that to you, but now you could just get that back right over to you, super duper quick. So, um, popular types of soil, I can't even think. As Happy Frog is the one. Pro Mix is very good, but on a budget, Home Depot has the organic potting soil and another organic potting soil for about $20 for a $40 bag. So if you're getting going, you that's a good effective way to go. If you aren't recycling your dirt, you should have been getting going on that. So last year's dirt, you dump all of those pots out, add some worm castings to it, and kind of put it in your backyard over a tarp. What you want to do with old dirt to rejuvenate it is get it up to about 110 degrees. If you had any bad pathogens in it, it'll like clear that out, and then you can reuse that. If you shout out to my girl Luna all day on Instagram, she is the my favorite dirt expert period in this cannabis field. I hope to have her on the show one day because she is um, very good at what she do. She's so technical that I like stop with her in 420 scenes. Shout out to 420 scene on Patreon if you want to follow somebody that I trust all of the information. Who's a Gaia green grower, who is a dirt grower, who definitely trains his plants to get a pound harvest out of a lot of things by mainlining. That's a whole nother topic that we could get into to get their plants. But specifically now, we kind of talking about the dirts and the application for outdoor right now. Now, when you add things to your soil, some of the amendments that you like to add would be the perlite. That's the lightweight porous volcano glass, and that's going to help with the the drainage and the aeration. That's those pockets of air so the roots can have. Core adds lightness and improves water retention. And I use that a lot down in rural Ohio because of the clay dirt that we had and worm castings. I'm always on. We start making our own worm casting. My best worm castings come from the blind bug cultivator himself. So if you want to get some, if you local to Central Ohio, hit him up and he can get you some worm casting. Worm castings, you can actually buy a thing. If somebody fishes in your household, it's that easy. They will. It's just the poop of worms, and it's a box that you catch all of the underneath. And really, the prize package for that is probably one of the nastier things. It's the juice from the worm cast, the ZP. It be running out of there, man. Trust me, man. But that's like gold to your weed, because when we talk about the macro and the micronutrients, the micro gonna be in that in the water, those type stuff, and it really do when you get good set of worm castings down there. And I'm gonna say also where we are at right now, if you are looking to take that next move, add insect frost to it. Insect frost is more of a macro type addition that's going to break down into feeding your microorganisms. And also, it's really a theory out there, more bro science than real science, that's going to hold the pest down. So that's very good with adding insect frost. That would be what I would tell you to do. Is my current mix would be insect fry. I mean, we'll just start at the bottom. If I started with cocoa core, like I'll do a third of cocoa core, then I'll do a third of compost, and let me see, I would go compost and the rice hulls right in there. Like worm casting and compost about the same. Then rice hulls, and if I felt like I needed perlite, I would use a third of that. Mix all of that stuff up, let that stuff get happy, drop that right in there, and that's the way I would go. You also got vermiculite. You know that also will lighten the soil and increase moisture retention. But you got to make sure you like if you feel like it's too wet, do something different next. Now, the nutrients for the cannabis plants is just like I was saying. The macronutrients and the macronutrients, which is big. Micro is small, macro is big. So you're talking the nitrogen, it's the NPK. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The N is nitrogen, the first P is phosphorus, and the K is for potassium. Those are essential for the growth. The secondary nutrients is calcium, sulfur, magnesium are critical for the health. Calcium, magnesium, CalMag, what that does is open up the cells so all of those other nutrients get up to the top of the green leaf so we can start making photosynthesis. Other micronutrients, what we do, includes calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, and other, which supports the biological process. So what we doing right there is trying to get everything to keep that thing to converting the sun into energy to make this plant grow. So it's a lot of you can get deep as you want to in that. Big thing is make sure the cells is open so the intake is good and the outtake is good. So it's a lot that you could tell by your leaf. And remember, don't go so crazy on all of these machines and getting all of these measuring tools out there, because nobody will tell you better than your plant. When the edges of your leaves is starting to look yellow, it's probably because of potassium. Potassium is gonna keep your plant a lot greener. So, and then nitrogen toward the finishing, you want to be a little higher with the nitrogen. Like I said, when it's essential for all of them, but then in different phases of your growth. Veg, you want a balance of it all, and sort of going into budding or flower, I think we back the potassium down a little bit and add more nitrogen and phosphorus and other things. You know, when you getting out there, some of the things that you need to consider is a good water schedule, and you have to watch your weather right now. Right now, with those plants going directly to outdoors right now, it's pretty cool right now in the day. It's ideal, 70 something degrees. And at night it only go down to 60, well in the range of it. Like critical would be probably below 50 if you got a little tender. But the biggest thing right now, what I need everybody to pay attention to, is the humidity is off right now. Usually this time of year, after the spring started, what we used to know about weather here in Northeast Ohio, it used to be steady after the spring. We got to a point and we all knew the temperature, and we like, oh, it hit. It's warm, and we could tell. Really what that was the relative humidity came up to a certain level. And right now, we got a couple days coming up this week. We're going to go from too little humidity at night to way too much by the weekend. I think we got like 70, 80%. So whenever it's about to rain, obviously the humidity is going to go up. There's more moisture in the air. When it's been dry for a while, you might have to do that. So outdoors, you really don't have a lot to do with it, except for if your plant is a baby. And if your plant is a baby, then you need to go out there with a plastic bag on certain nights and cover that plant up. You are not covering it up for temperature. If you measure your dirt temperature, it would be good. Now, if you're looking for the humidity, you almost want that. Until you got a good root system, you want that thing to like almost be in a tropical type situation. 71 degrees, 70 to 77 degrees temperature, and about 70 degrees humidity, and I would have it in a dome. And if it was me, I spray my plants down like 2 or 3 times a day to keep that humidity level well up. And also, like, don't dry them all the way out. Your root system want to be wet when you growing those things. When you growing a new plant, especially from a cutting or even from a seed. So, it is it's a lot that you could take on, a lot of information that you could take in. Indoor garden supply is very good. They always help you out very good. The Grow Wizard on Denison, sometimes she stand off, but she gives certain people information. That's just my opinion about it, but she cool, I guess, because she been there for a long time. And the boys over in Akron Indoor Garden and the gurus probably in this whole area. It's a bunch of good grow stores. I haven't got to all of them because it's a lot more growing, popping up now. But also you can find good seeds at your local smoke shops right now. I would say good head shops. Now separate the smoke shop from a good head shop, and they might have good seeds in there. And if you haven't grown for seeds, it's not that hard. They're gonna give you too many of them, and then you just gotta if you pop 6 seeds, 3 of them should come up, and you'll be ready to go. And you should grow from seeds because you get fresh DNA, and then you get to train your plant just a lot better. And what I mean by that is when it grow, you can make it grow a certain way when it's low, and really have a lot of control over your plant while it's growing, coming up. So those are some of the things about the dirt for growing this. And it's very important when you're putting it outside. You have to plan for where the sun is going to be in the fall. If you grow in a sativa or a slow booming plant, or it's just not good genetics, it's taking a long time, you do not want to cheat that out of the fall sunlight. So if you are not in plants, you in the ground, you playing behind your house, make sure you're going to have sun into the fall. A couple people didn't finish as good as they started last year because their own house start blocking the sun off. When the further in the year it got, the sun actually for us was going in the evening, it started going more northerly. So right now it's like a little far south, and when you look out west, it seems like it travels more in the fall to the north. So you have to make a consideration for that. That's one of those little things. You really ain't gonna dig that plant up if you put it in the ground after you got it in the ground. So make a very wise consideration to where you plant your plant at, as much as what you plant. And what you plant is just as important as everything. Genetics. That's gonna be the way for the next 5-6 years. You grow good genetics, your chances of a good outcome increase by I don't know, 10%. I mean, not 10%, 10 times. That's really how much I bet. You get some no name seeds, it's a crapshoot. You really don't know what you're growing, but not to say you might not grow the best plant. Also, in a pack of seeds, sister seeds right next to each other, the same thing can look different. That's when people take clones. When you find a seed that you like, you want to make a lot of clones and cuttings off the plants that you like. This is a strong one. That's the one you want to reproduce. The other ones you might grow out, but me and Teeny, if I had 30 cups in my tent, I'm only really gonna grow 8 out, to be honest with you. So out of 30 cups, out of me popping 30 seeds, I'm only gonna keep 8. That's because I'm looking for the strong ones. I'm looking for the ones that's competing already, and I'm looking for uniformity because I like to train my plants a certain way to grow a certain thing. We'll get into that further, but just pick good genetics. Some of my favorites all time right now will still be shout out to Humboldt County. I'm still Thug Plug Ethos, but the local dudes here in Ohio is coming. They actually have dumpster bud mixed with Death Star over at Indoor Garden for the seeds, feminized seeds. And I do got some information for some seeds. This weekend, we got a whole lot of information. We're gonna get into that in our next little block we get to, and I don't know if we got to pay any bills today or not. We paying bills today, EP.
Okay. You need a little break real quick.
We gonna pay one set of bills, and then we gonna keep a little, take a little small little break, and maybe hit the dab machine. I don't know, but we gotta be careful real quick. And then we gonna get back into it. I'm gonna get you that information about visiting. I got my shirt in on the day we was at the Northeast Ohio Rosin Fest out at the Berea Fairgrounds. So we're gonna give you a full recap on that, man. We're gonna take a quick break. A shout out to the Voice of Radio. I'm first up here on the Tuesday night power block. Next up is Al Porter's Hip Hop Workshop. I be messing that up all the time. And followed by We Doing It Tonight, EP and Hot Mess in the evening. Man, let me tell you, if you missed last week's show, you missed a good one. We had Honey DeVore on, but it was a great show. But we're going to be right back after these quick commercial breaks, and then we're going to get back into a little more seed, and then we're going to go over the Rosin Fest and some legal. We'll be right back. All right, let me get that paper out. Oh, shit. I know he gave it to me. All right. This I still don't have this thing. Let me see if I got it. He's a good dude from local here. Okay. Midwest Adartic Genetics. Okay. All right. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to to this Ohio Cannabis Show here on the Voice of Radio. Here we like to come on every Tuesday at 4:20. We like to talk about cultivation, information, and legalization of the cannabis plant, specifically here in the great state of Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, that is. We had a great time this weekend, man. We got a lot of things. Everybody always asking me where I'll be going. This one was broadcasted. I let y'all know where we was going. It was Rosin Fest. If you don't know what rosin is, that's what me and EP be choking our brains off on every weekend. There's some good stuff too, man. I got some good ones for us too. I got the Van Gogh from some good gigs. It was Toucan Terps out of Michigan came down. They had Superior and they had Van Gogh, and we got some Smackles, and they did a real good job out at the Northeast Ohio Rosin Fest. So if you don't know, rosin is just the trichomes out the weed. So that's the crystals off the weed. It's nothing else. So if you look at a piece of leaf, the crystally things that's on the leaf, and that is a good way to determine whether the weed is fake. If the crystals aren't translucent, then it's not good shit. But it's a good fest. You know, people have a dab rig. A lot of people are doing the nectar collector, which you just heat the end of that tube up and then you stick your hot end in there and you just inhale. That is dabbing, and that's what rosin is. Now, it is a difference, so people know. It's resin, it's rosin, and it all depends on the extract. If we're talking rosin 100% time denotes made from bubble hash. Rosin, and when we say solventless, it's like the other brand we like. They're from the solventless syndicate. And what you want to do is not use any chemical for the extraction. So all we doing is shaking the crystals off the weed, taking mesh bags and separating the plant matter away from the crystals, and then we are, after that process, if you can look on the YouTube, we got a whole process when I'm at the world's largest bubble hash machine, and you just taking that crystal, you dry that out after you get the crystals separated. It kind of look grayish after that, and then you have to freeze dry it after that. Freeze dry it to remove all the water. If you don't have a freeze dryer, you got like 12 to 13 days to wait till all of the water come out of your crystals. It has to be dry. A lot of people just get a freeze dryer and it does the job quick. After you do that, you still have to cure rosin like you have to cure weed. Not similar. You just did all the drying process with the you do the drying process with the what's the name of that freezer? You know what I mean. Dang, that's that. I ain't been really hitting no weed, but in a freeze dryer, just like the freeze dried candy, what that's doing is removing all of the moisture out. Then you still have to cure it in a jar for like 4 or 5 days. What you're looking for there is dark and not letting the temperature get, you want to cure it in like 70 degrees in complete dark, similar to weed temperature. And I would be conscious of my humidity, to be honest with you. I like rosin a lot because it's real healthy to me, because rosin, even in the dab pens and the dab carts, good rosin is what you want. Resin and resin extract, what's the difference is the extraction process. Resin, instead of like washing all your crystals down in water in an ice bath to make rosin, you just get BHO, which is butane, and you just like run butane over your weed, and what's left in thins out, and that becomes rosin. Or it's a similar process. You stick a whole tube in and you shoot CO2 over it, and CO2 supposedly is a little cleaner. All of it should boil all of it off, but it is a chemical agent that's helping make to separate the trichomes out and get you to a rosin state. So that is sort of the different levels. Is resin is kind of two forms of it, CO2 and BHO. and that could contain shatter, whip, batter. All of those things are still resin and can be rosin. Rosin is specifically no chemicals made from bubble hash, solventless. That's why you don't use the CO2 or the BHO. And that's where we was at. We was at the Rosin Fest. Uh, I went a little bit live on there, and you could check it out. I don't know. I gotta send EP the Facebook link to it because I went on Facebook for a second, and it was good. It was at the Berea Fairground. That's about the third or fourth event I went out there. Met some great vendors out there. Looking forward to it, and they do have a lot of things going out there. If you looking for things to do, they are gonna have a every week pop up. Remember that EP at Berea Fairgrounds once a month they're gonna have a pop up. I don't know. They got it going on, and they got another one coming up on the Vortex in Akron on Saturday, September. They having another uh, music expo out there, and also I think the ones it's another one coming up, Sweet Dreams at Legends Valley on July 17th through the 19th. And that's a full blown ass rave. I don't even know if this is a whole ass cannabis show or what, but they about to go hard out there. So that's like 3 days out into the woods. And this weekend, Babes and Blunts, Dolce Leaf Company, DULCELEF. If you know, you know. Tap in with them. I can't say that you're gonna get approved to get in, but Babes and Blunts will be on the 14th this weekend. One of the best pop-ups that's ever coming. Rosin Fest was dope for rosin, but if you're looking for flower and all of that and just that, I don't know, like that. I love our style of pop-ups because they're unique to us. I love seeing the Indiana kids. Shout out to Pieheads and my other man over there, Naptown in the house, man. And shout out to my boys over at 520 podcast too, man. My man B here and DJ and Jeff, man. Shout out to those dudes, man, because Naptown be putting it down. Those dudes would be in the house, Pieheads. They always give a good interview. They start podcasting up there, and Indiana still. I think they might be medical. I'm not even sure. They might not have no weed laws over there, but that don't stop nobody. But come on over, boys. Tap in. It was put on out there by N Labs. It was a great show. It was a good event. N Labs. Let me get up some shots out. I think they got. They have a inhalable. Smoke Shop on 1114 Pearl Road. They put that good event on. I'm pretty sure they did. That was just a good thing. Some of the other notables out there was like Toucan Turks out of Michigan did real good. This young man over there making the pads, Smoke Stash, hash only with the move mats. He did a good job. He gave like number plates out, so look him up. I should leave some information on the wherever I put this out. I'll leave a comment if you can catch that thing. Very good thing, limited edition. I think it was a good show too. I tell you, it costs like $30 to get in. You got more than $30 worth to get high when you get in there. It was a rolling competition. EPI just like flat out. It was a challenge. It wasn't even a competition for me. That shit was so damn easy. I don't even know. It was very easy, but they had that. They took the world's biggest dab competition, which I don't know who would want to participate in that, but it was a lot of sign-ups for that. Be careful out there with anything too. It was a lot of edibles, and you know what I'm gonna say about edibles. Don't eat too many of them edibles. Whatever you do, go low and slow on edibles. Anytime you get a chance, don't eat too many. What I mean by low and slow, low dosage, and eat them slow. Wait 30 to 40 minutes for it to uptake. And if you're a rookie, make sure it's 45 to 50 minutes before you uptake. And it's it'll start hitting you. And remember, you down for like a 6 or 7 hour ride. That's why you don't want to take that damn edible and then eat some more before you had effects, because that's how people get messed up all of the time. Shout out to another guy that was out there. We had Melnick Manifestations. Is a great artist. Has some real trippy stuff out there. Very cool. Hopefully, we're gonna see him later on coming up. Uh, we also had some of the edible people out there. Stone Creek Boutique, and that's over in Columbia Station, 24521 Sprague Road. They was very cool people too. Anybody gave me a good interview. You can check that out over the thing. They did have so if you wanted to know, they had the dab card out there. So you got three different dabs, and I think you get to punch through all of this. You got your T-shirt, which I got on. You got a grab bag that had edibles, a few pre-rolls. That the signature bag with the shirt and everything was like $100. You got the dab mat. You know, it was it a value? They could have put more wax in there. They could have put a jar of wax, in my opinion. You had a Rosin Fest and you gave us tree for free. They could have gave us a little eighth or a little half a gram of wax, and that would have been real slick to me, just in my opinion. But who knows what their budget is? I'm just happy they did it, and I'm down to support what they do. So hopefully this will be not the first, but the first annual Rosin Fest. And you got to give it to the people out at Berea and the Berea police and the whole cannabis community for having a good, no event, great party. I mean, it was very good. It was just very enjoyable. The music talent was out there was outstanding, man. There's one dude out there, I don't even know who he was. I mean, he looked like the dudes out of Blues Travelers. But dude was rocking it, man. It was a very good time. The VIP tents was small but very accommodating. Got us out the sun. It was a barn full of people, so you could be inside, picnic area, great food trucks. A lot of the vendors was out there, and it was just a very overall good party. I don't think a lot of Cleveland really showed up for it, but they should have, because it was a good event. But then with Dolce Leaf coming up this weekend, I could see why. And I really got a big shout out to my some homeboys I met up there, the Juice Box boys, young. They came with the cherry lemonade, and they also had their own wax washed down too. I kind of left that. They did good, very good. Shout out to the Juice Boys, man. I look forward to getting them on. Like in the next week or two, I'm looking to get the Juice Boys on. All these guys, really, when I got that card, is because they want to come on to the show. I really wasn't messing with nobody. It'd be a lot of people out there going down. So it was one other person I want to give a shout out to right here in Ohio, trying to come out with their own new product, and that's called the Mixture. They got a all-in-one. It do versatile pen, dry herbs, concentrate, and it do the 510 cartridges. So they do that with having a bunch of attachments to go on there. It looked like a good piece. They're working in it, and what I really like is that you could change the battery out. That's what happened to me on the Puffco sometime, but that's why I got a backup, because we gonna smoke no matter what. I just break my other Puffco out. But it definitely got the swappable battery. That was just a good product that was out there too. And like I say, it was very, very good. Shout out to all of the Michigan people that came down. My man had Superior Murder Melts down here. He had Delato. He had some great waxes. My man that we interviewed, Head Stash, I'm calling his name wrong, but he is Ohio's premium. He rocked with the Papermakers. I'll let you know, Papermakers was not at this one, but they will be here this coming on Father's Day on the 14th. So babes and blunts over at you gotta wait till hit me up about Thursday or Friday, and I'll tell you where it'll be at, maybe. And you just look them up, and they do it like rave style. So if you want to get over to that, please hit me up on the social media at SOHIGHO216 at Gmail and tap in, and I drop all that, and it do work, man. You ask anybody else, I'll show you on my email one day. A lot of people tap in. When I say I give away free seeds, I don't be playing. If you don't take it, that's on you. If I say I'm giving away free weed, it's a bunch of people that's regulars who I don't try to give it to. I'm trying to spread it around. But definitely tap into that. That's SOHIGHO 216 at gmail.com. And we could get you in the drawing, or if you first come, first serve this week, we'll get you right on that. It was a great event. Look forward to the next one. And shout out to all the fathers that's coming up this weekend for Father's Day. If you don't know, if you got somebody that smoke cannabis regular in your house, they will be ecstatic. Every daddy out here don't want a tie. Instead of giving them a tie, go get him a nice sack of the finest herb you can get out of the thing. He would appreciate it. Trust me on that. It's just not a gift that you give. It don't cost that much, but let me tell you, the thought of somebody bringing me a good bag of weed, man, oh man, oh man, man, oh man. You listening, kids? Shout out to my son too, and son. And really, I want to send a shout out to my sister who's recovering in the hospital, and my brother-in-law. My prayers and good thoughts is always with you, Fred. Love you to death. I love and happy birthday to my brother today also. So there's a lot been going on with us, but we're gonna keep it going with the legalization part of where we at, and it's been a lot of movement here. We finally got a little bit of action down there, but remember, just like we read last week, when they talking about it and it's not going up for a vote, they just really still marking this bill up. This bill ain't really gone. And now that we all the way into June, the chances of this thing getting onto the bill, in this session of Ohio's Congress, hopefully it's going to run out the way I see it, because I don't think it's enough input on making the changes without them just, all they're really trying to do, in my opinion, is take the money. But it is that, remember here in Cleveland, that you smoke shops, when you go get that tobacco license right now, you definitely agree for, when you sign up for it now, it's ratified by the Cleveland City Hall, is that you are going to be visited 2 times a year by some agencies, and it already went down. So it's another thing about that me and EP need to take this on the road and go do some education classes, because the state of Ohio is passing out money. That money was earmarked for education and I guess some task force work. A lot of this was supposed to go back into the education, and not a lot of people have stepped up into the nonprofit world to start teaching really on education. They should be paying me and underwriting this show just because we give out so much good information about the cannabis plant. So that is what we're that's what we're working up. I should turn my dang notification off. I thought it was somebody like calling in. We also have some things like all you artist types. I know a lot of people who listen in on me and comment in on me is artists. We do have an Assembly for the Arts Creative Impact Fund. Your application needs to be in by July 18th, and that's something free for Cleveland. And good buddy Dave's one was talking on the panel, and I told him I'd give him a shout out. The Creative Impact Fund is an unrestricted grant designed to support an artist's creative practice and advance their impact on our region. EP about to sign up for this. The 2025 Creative Impact Fund will award $5,000 to 15 early career artists, $10,000 to $15 to mid and late career artists. Attend an information session on Thursday, May 22nd. We missed that. June 5th, oh shit, and July 8th, we missed that. Deadline to apply though is July 18th, so you got a little bit of time if you want to get that. And also, I'm super proud to be working with 4030 Arts Festival. Red Lion Brown Horse in Cleveland is going to present the, I want to say that, St. Clair Superior Art Festival, 4030 Art Festival on August 9th. We are going to get the block off the streets of St. Clair from 40th to 45th from about noon till 10 o'clock at night. I think we'll have the street blocked off before that. But the festival starts about noon. We got a lot of vendors coming. I'm sure the Voice of Radio will be there with their table, probably broadcasting live. We'll do some outreach from there. But look forward to that. So if you vending, if you artists particularly that want to show your wares at an artist fest, if you buy art, if you have something to do, we really got to pump this up, help us really get the word out. And we are going to be looking for some people to staff a couple positions on there as far as not event coordinators, but volunteer coordinators, and a couple jobs will be coming up. You need to be highly skilled, have some experience, all of those good things. Don't just do it just because you know me and you want to smoke that bag of weed with me, because I'll put you to work for real, for real. We want to have a great, great time. Shout out to, like I say, all the people that's helping us out. Shout out to St. Clair Superior, the foundations that's helping us, and Red Lion, 4030 Studio, and definitely shout out to Days and Adams specifically for that. Man, well, we've been kicking it for a minute. I think information-wise, on legalization-wise, I think we all good. I think it's a good show. Next week, we definitely got the blind bud cultivator coming in, but I really wanted to get that dirt information into you. And next week, I'll be a little more selective about we're going to just try to take you through a little more information on what these outdoor plants is doing, what you looking at. I have a better idea. We got plants outdoors right now. And any other the tips you got for us, just please tap into us on the Facebook or on the YouTube. Hit back to us, man. Like, share, subscribe, all of that shit. Facebook, I love you. Facebook, y'all people take care of me so damn good. Make sure you share that all around. I appreciate that. Shouts out to all the people. It's not doing too good today, man. Make sure if you got an opportunity to help somebody, if it's in your power, go ahead and help somebody. Ain't nobody else. A little kind word, a smile or two. It's funny these days around Cleveland, EP. I think everybody is, this time of year in Northeast Ohio, you think everybody friendly. You got people outside just waving at you all damn day long, man. All day long, man. You get close to the lake, man. You think you down south somewhere and everybody waving at you. I'm like, man, Cleveland is turning around. It's really not that. We got this shit called the Mayfly or the Miggies, bro. Ain't nobody really nice up here. They was planting flies away from you, though. But, it's a good time in Northeast Ohio. It's one of the best times to be around here. The lake be laking. EP on his motorcycle. We warming up out here. I don't smell the barbecue grills as much as we usually do this time of year, but it's getting going, though. We look forward to that, man. Like I say always, man, y'all be safe out there. Do not eat too many gummies. Any form of edibles, you can go way, way too far on that. Remember that. Go low and slow. I don't recommend, if you're new to this, you should be anywhere over 5 to 10 milligrams to ease yourself into it, and then you could go up from there. But 5 to 10 milligrams is about the most you should be starting off with, and you could really eat too much weed all the time, man. And like my man said, man, don't forget to tune in right after this at 7 o'clock for Al Porter's Hip Hop Show. And then later on tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm trying to tell you, one of the funniest shows on this damn interweb, hands down, point blank, period. If you want to have a good time from a Cleveland perspective, not take life too serious, come on, check out Hot Mess in the Evening with EP, Miss Kitty, Miss Kathy, Baby Boy, and me, the Weed Man, having a good time. I'm sure we're going to have some celebrity. We've been knocking it out the park with the celebrity guests. If you didn't know, we did Q Parker, and we had Honey DeVoe last week, and we probably going to have somebody outstanding for you this week. Tune in for that after that. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, like, subscribe for us all, and like my man EP always say, smoke weed so you don't punch somebody in the face. Peace. We appreciate y'all. This is about 1 hour.